Welcome to Europe Conversation. I am Andra Miron Diaconescu, and we are here with Mr. George Simion, candidate for the Romanian presidency. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your invitation to give this interview.
Mr. Simion, you are very close to the presidency now, and there is a crucial moment for Romania and for Europe. You've been labeled many times as anti-Ukrainian, pro-Russian, Eurosceptic. Let's clear this now. And please tell me, how do you calibrate your message to Europe, to its leaders, and how do you label yourself?
I'm a young leader. I'm 38 years old. I'm a Democrat. This is why I was opposing the annulment of the elections here in Romania. You cannot do this in an EU member state just because you do not like who won. Now, I am a Euro realist. I'm one of the 3 vice presidents of ECR party, European Conservatives and Reformists, the party of Giorgia Meloni. Our president is Mateusz Morawiecki, the former Law and Justice Prime Minister in Poland. We want a Europe of nations, and I am the person who fought the most before entering the politics with Russian propaganda. Our problems with Ukraine is not about hatred, about opposing something. It's about Ukrainians that must respect international treaties and the right of national minorities. We have 500,000 of Romanian speakers in Ukraine, and they don't have the right to school and to church. This is why our position towards the Russian war is very clear. It's a Russian war against Ukraine, against all international treaties, and our hope and prayers go towards a peaceful solution of the Trump administration in this region, because escalating the conflict is not the answer.
You've tackled a lot of themes. Let's take one by one. So, anti-Ukraine, yes or not?
No.
Pro-Russian?
Absolutely not.
Eurosceptic?
Euro-realist.
What does it mean?
It means that we do not want a super federal state at European level. We want a European Union that goes back to its founding fathers, to the origins, then to Adenauer and de Gaulle, as an economic space for the free circulation of persons and merchandise. And we want more prerogatives to the 27 member states, not to unelected EU bureaucrats.
Then how will you work with Mrs. von der Leyen if you are elected?
I saw how our leader, Giorgia Meloni, works with Ursula von der Leyen, even if they do not share the same ideology, and even if Ursula von der Leyen made harsh statements before Italian elections, where Fratelli d'Italia won fair and square. We are winning this battle. All we are asking for is fair and free elections, and we will respect all our commitments at EU and NATO level.
Then why do you label them then unlegitimate?
I said unelected bureaucrats because they are not voted by the people inside the European Union, and there are many tentatives to change the EU treaties without going to the vote of the citizens. For me, democracy is very important. This is the key aspect of the current repeated Romanian presidential elections. So I would like to go back to the people and to respect the will of the people. You know, President Trump was winning the elections in the United States, and the Supreme Court judges could have banned him, like it happened in Romania, like it happens in Iran and in authoritarian regimes. Maybe many of the judges in the Supreme Court didn't like Mr. Trump, but he was able to be a candidate, and this is the meaning of democracy. Like I told you at the beginning, I'm a young person, a young leader, and all my life we dreamt of being part of the West, of the free world, and now it turns out it's not so free anymore.
Romania is NATO's crucial eastern flank ally, and tell me, if you will be president, if you will continue the same strategy, and how will you keep Romania safe?
For us, being a member of NATO is vital. We sacrificed a lot for being admitted to NATO. We invested a lot, and we spent our defense spending are quite big. So we want to be, along with Poland and the Baltic states, the eastern flank of NATO, and we want to invest more in our defense spending. We want a NATO led by the United States.
So you agree with the increase of the percentage in the GDP for security?
It's absolutely normal to pay for your defense. I don't imagine what some countries think, because when they entered NATO, they signed up for giving 1% from their GDP towards military expenses. So it is normal. We have a strong military industry that can be reinforced here in Romania, and my wish is to have a prosperous country.
It's a time of massive geopolitical change in Eastern Europe, and also all over the world, and also in Europe. And now there are ongoing Trump-Putin negotiations. You have referred to that already. How will you work with Mr. Trump to safeguard Romania?
We are the natural allies of the GOP in the United States. We are perfectly aligned ideologically with the MAGA movement. As Giorgia Meloni does, we will work very well with the Trump administration. We have many friends, we know each other, and we will collaborate, and we will be serious partner for the US on the eastern flank of NATO. We have elections in May, on the 18th of May, both in Romania and Poland, and we hope to have two pro-MAGA presidents, both in Bucharest and in Warsaw.
Why do you think Mr. Trump would help Romania more than the EU establishment?
Mr. Trump policies, as he stated in the electoral campaign, is to have bilateral relations with the countries in the EU. It is in the US's interest.
And in Romania's interest, what is?
To keep all three pillars of our security strategy: one, member of the European Union; second, member of NATO, the strongest military alliance in the history; and three, the strategic partnership with the US.
Can you please elaborate a little more on this? Because Mr. Trump, after he took the presidency, he had a very offensive policy. And he ruled for the economic taxes. He excluded us from visa waiver. Why do you think it's more in Romania's interest than in USA interest to work with Trump more than with EU?
We want to work with all our allies.
But not on the same level.
One does not exclude the other. Now the tariff war is not intended towards the EU countries mainly. It's intended to stop the Chinese domination. This is a topic for us. We must produce more in our countries, in the US, in Romania, in Italy. So our idea at the ECR level, at European level, is to maintain the EU-US unity, the transatlantic unity, to maintain the free world as it is.
Who will you work with in the European Council mostly? Who will be your allies?
We have three prime ministers that are from European conservatives and reformists. The Belgian Prime Minister, the Czech Prime Minister Fiala, and Giorgia Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister.
What about the others?
Depending on the interests that we have, I will go there to represent the Romanian interests, because I'm a politician in the model of Romania first. So I'll put my national interest first, and I will negotiate with the rest of the leaders inside the European Council.
Will you need for Romania first EU funding?
We are contributing to EU budget, we are benefiting from EU funding, so of course these are resources that we want to access. Our government is not doing a good job at it. Instead, Giorgia Meloni has a percent of 100% money from EU funds. Of course, it is our right, and will benefit from it. I don't like the policy of stick and carrot. You can only get EU funds if you listen to us, if you close the coal mines, if you align culturally with our policies. The EU is an economical alliance, not a cultural or a military alliance.
Yes, but you've seen that the EU had this strategy towards Mr. Orban because he had same approach as you are talking about now.
I saw the same approach towards the law and justice government in Poland, where they wanted to oblige Poland to close their coal mines. They were fined. They were paying big sums of money for not closing their coal mines. Turns out the Polish government was right. We need to maintain an energetic stability, and closing the mines would have been a bad idea. It doesn't work this way. You cannot threaten a country through its economic policies by not giving them access to the EU funds.
But if it will happen?
If it will happen, I will have a voice in the EU Council like the other 26 leaders there.
What about Putin? Because we didn't speak about him at all. If you are president, would you go to Moscow for the 9th of May or to Kiev with the other European leaders?
I would go to Rome, I would go to Washington. I'm not interested for now in going to Kiev until the Ukrainians will respect the Romanian minority there, and it's excluded. It's off the table totally to go to a parade on the 9th of May in Moscow celebrating the death of our grandfathers.
Please tell me, if we are part of NATO, and if we will need, in the case that you are president, to further help Ukraine, what will you do?
We do not have this decision at NATO level, and the leader, the most important country in NATO, wants to stop this war and to make peace. So we will respect...
Yes, but we don't know when the peace will be.
We will respect our international partnerships, everything that we obliged for, everything we signed up with UN, with NATO, with the European Union.
So you will continue to help Ukraine?
This is not an obligation, so far as I know, and I will not help Ukraine until Ukraine manages to respect the right of the Romanians living in the sovereign territory of Ukraine.
So if you are president, you're cutting this help?
Yes, I said it numerous times. The solution is a ceasefire and peace negotiation, de-escalating the conflict, and we must follow the interests of the Romanian nation, not of other nations that are not part of the European Union and of NATO, and NATO is a defensive alliance.
The Hungarian minority voted against you. How will you work with Mr. Orban, and what is your message for this community in Romania?
The Hungarian community had its own candidate, so they didn't vote against me, they voted for their candidate.
They had the same candidate all over the country, and the rest of the country voted for you.
The Hungarians,
now I'm talking about the other parties.
The UDMR party are a serious political partner, the only serious political party here in Bucharest from the governmental party, so I would like to congratulate them. And I see in UDMR, the party of Hungarians here in Romania, that they are having professional leadership. So I would like to congratulate them, and I would like in many aspects to follow on the footsteps of Viktor Orban. Of course, we have some red lines. Of course, our stances differ in some aspects, but Viktor Orban has proven to fight for family, for demography, for Christianity inside the EU institutions, so they will be partners for us, both Fidesz and UDMR.
You are banned in Ukraine and Moldova. Will you change the situation?
Probably after I will win on the 19th of May, these false interdictions will disappear, because it is in Chisinau and Kiev's interest to work with us. I want to work with them on several topics, and I want to have a good neighborhood relations.
Please tell me, how will you impose Mr. Georgescu as a prime minister?
I will not impose. I'm not a tyrannic, totalitarian leader. I'm a democrat leader. So if the Romanian people will want Mr. Georgescu at the leadership, there are several constitutional ways. Referendum, snap election, a majority in the parliament. But we will see this after I'm in the presidential seat.
Mr. Georgescu is accused of threatening the democracy. You said that the elections were reversed, were banned because of somebody who didn't like the result. On the other hand, we've seen the Security Council, Defense Security Council, which stated that there was a threat to our democracy, and there was a foreign state, Russia, who helped Mr. Georgescu to win the second round of elections last year.
I didn't see any shred of evidence presented about a foreign intervention. It was only Antony Blinken who said about the Russian interference. The Secret Services report do not mention Russia. So when I will be president, I will let everybody know what really happened, because this Security Council is made up of politicians who, in my opinion, clinched to power and didn't respect the right of the Romanian people to choose their leaders. This is why.
Yes, but you enter now in this logic. If you don't like you're playing the same card. You say they didn't like the vote, so they banned the elections. On the other hand, you do the same thing now. You don't like them, so you don't agree with their ruling.
Please be very, very careful. The only thing I want is fair and free elections. Let the people decide, and let the rulers chosen by the Romanian people do like they say in the electoral campaign. This is what I will do, exactly like I stated in this interview.
Last question. Who will you phone first if you are elected as the President of Romania?
You mean besides my wife and besides my mother, of course, from the international leaders, probably the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simion.
Thank you.